Good morning. My name is John Thompson, and I'm delighted to share with you what a typical day in my life looks like here in the year 1900. I wake up around 5:30 a.m., just as the first light of dawn starts to peek through the curtains. The sound of horse-drawn carriages on the cobblestone streets outside is my alarm clock. The smell of coal smoke fills the air, a reminder of our bustling industrial age. After washing up with cold water from the basin, I head to the kitchen where my wife, Mary, is already preparing breakfast. We usually have oatmeal and fresh bread from the bakery down the street. Mary keeps herself busy throughout the day, taking care of our home and children, but today she's especially excited as she plans to visit the Pan-American Exposition in Buffalo later this year. By 7 a.m., I'm out the door and on my way to work. I'm a foreman at the local steel mill, part of the booming steel industry that's transforming America. Andrew Carnegie's influence is everywhere. Our work is hard and dangerous, but it's honest labor, and it pays the bills. On my way to the mill, I pass by the construction site of the new subway system. They say it's going to revolutionize how we travel across the city. It's incredible to think that just a few years ago, most of us relied on streetcars and our own 2 feet. At the mill, my day is filled with supervising the workers, ensuring everyone is safe and productive. The sound of hammers and the heat from the furnaces are constants in my daily life. During breaks, we talk about recent news. The Gold Standard Act that President William McKinley signed earlier this year is a hot topic. Some of the men worry about the impact on the economy, but we all hope for stability and prosperity. Lunchtime is a brief respite, and I often eat a simple meal of sandwiches and fruit. The lunch hour chatter is dominated by talk of the latest inventions. Thomas Edison's phonograph and the advent of electric lighting are transforming our homes and workplaces. After a long day, I return home by 6 p.m. Dinner is ready, and we gather as a family to enjoy stew and vegetables from our garden. After dinner, we might listen to music on our gramophone or read by the light of our new electric lamp. My eldest son, James, is fascinated by the stories of the Wright brothers and their flying machine experiments. It's hard to imagine a future where humans can actually take to the skies. Before bed, I take a moment to read the evening newspaper. Headlines about the Boxer Rebellion in China and the ongoing struggles in the Philippines remind me how interconnected our world is becoming. As I settle into bed, I reflect on how much has changed in my lifetime. From the introduction of telephones and automobiles to the bustling skyscrapers reshaping our cities, it's a remarkable time to be alive. Who knows what the future holds? John smiles and looks out the window, where the lights of the city glow softly in the night. John Thompson, tomorrow is another day, and with it, more progress and change. Good night, and may the 20th century be as exciting for you as the 19th has been for me.
Good morning. My name is Mary Thompson, his wife, and I'm happy to share with you what a typical day in my life looks like here in the year 1900. I wake up just before dawn, around 5 a.m., to prepare breakfast for my family. The first thing I do is light the stove, a task that requires patience and care. The smell of coal fills the kitchen as I start brewing coffee and baking fresh bread. By the time my husband, John, and our children wake up, breakfast is ready. We usually have oatmeal, bread, and sometimes a bit of bacon if we're lucky. Our mornings are filled with the hustle and bustle of getting everyone ready for their day. John heads off to the steel mill, and our 2 children, Sarah and James, prepare for school. Once everyone is out the door, my day truly begins. As a homemaker, my responsibilities are endless but fulfilling. Today, I need to wash the clothes. This means heating large pots of water and scrubbing each item by hand on the washboard. It's hard work, but it's a routine I've perfected over the years. Around mid-morning, I take a break to read the latest issue of the Ladies' Home Journal. The magazine is full of helpful tips on cooking and sewing, and it keeps me informed about the latest fashions and societal trends. Recently, I read an article about the upcoming Pan-American Exposition in Buffalo. It's thrilling to think about all the innovations and cultural exhibits that will be on display there. By noon, I'm preparing lunch, a simple meal of soup and bread. After lunch, I usually tend to our small vegetable garden. With the urbanization spreading rapidly, having fresh produce is a blessing. The garden is my little sanctuary amidst the city's chaos. In the afternoon, I might sew or mend clothes. The Singer's sewing machine has been a godsend, making this task much quicker and more efficient. Sometimes, I gather with other neighborhood women for a sewing circle, where we exchange stories and discuss current events. Today, we'll probably talk about the women's suffrage movement and the recent efforts by Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton to secure the right to vote for women. As the day winds down, I prepare dinner, making sure everything is ready by the time John returns from work. Our evening meal is a time for family, where we share stories about our day and discuss news from the newspaper. Tonight, we'll talk about the latest updates on the Boxer Rebellion in China and the new advancements in technology, like the recent experiments by the Wright brothers with their flying machine. After dinner, we sometimes listen to music on our gramophone, a wonderful invention that brings joy and culture into our home. Other nights, we read together by the light of our electric lamp, a marvel of modern science that still amazes me. As the children go to bed, I take a moment to reflect on the day. Life in 1900 is filled with challenges, but it's also a time of incredible progress and hope. The world is changing rapidly, and while it can be daunting, it's also exciting to be part of such a transformative era. Mary smiles warmly, looking around her cozy kitchen. Mary Thompson, tomorrow brings new tasks and new opportunities. Good night, and may the future be bright for all of us.